All right. Well, welcome everyone. I am excited to chat tonight quickly on our team huddle for August 2024. And there's really kind of three things that I want to talk about tonight. The first is that Arbonne has put again so many amazing offerings on the table, particularly the signups. That's the thing I want to focus on. There's some product promotions going on. But really, I think those kind of pale in comparison to helping people get a free account, whether that is helping them get an account again, get an account for the first time, upgrade their account from the preferred client to the consultant, or get a consultant account for the first time ever. And so I just think that when we have these months where it is offered for us to be able to offer people the free PC sign up with an order plus the free gift. I mean, in essence, they're getting close to $200 in product for, about $120 plus tax. So it's a huge savings and it's a huge value for them. And many times when we are not seeing an increase in enrollment or signups, particularly in months where these kind of specials are being offered, it's just because we really aren't asking enough, or we're not sharing it enough, or we're not being consistent in that. And so the same thing with the consultant account being $49. Obviously that means that upgrade is only $20. But it again removes a $50 barrier for people who are potentially considering the business. And I will tell you that $50 is a barrier for some people. And it's because a lot of times, like I just actually messaged with the gal tonight and she was like, I would love to consider it, but I'm, really trying to watch every penny. And I'm like, that's the whole reason I'm offering you this opportunity, is to help the pennies. Like, this is not for you to cause you to have to spend money. It's to help you learn how to make money. And so I just want to really challenge you guys to not sleep on this. If you are in a place in your business where you're like, I want to see my paycheck stay where it is or get bigger, because the truth of the matter is it rarely stays exactly where it is if we don't put some effort into the business side of it. And sponsoring is really the most indicative number that you can have in terms of, is my business moving forward or is my business not moving forward? And it's really that lifeblood of the business. Often you can look at your sponsoring numbers and know kind of, you can have a little bit of a predictor of where you're going to be in the next 90 days. And so if we want to think about it in terms of August, September, October, where do you want to be in November? Where do you want to be when Black Friday specials hit? Where do you want to be when people are ready to shop? That is the time. If you want to have great business in November, and often for a lot of us, November can be our biggest month of the year. In order to have that and have enough people to pull from and have enough people to be reaching out to, have enough people, what we call kind of in that funnel, we want to be putting in the work on this end, on the front end. And I will tell you guys that personally, I've just really been reaching out to people very intentionally. Last month, I asked 130 people to look at the business. I did that many asks because I know from my experience, sometimes that's not what I've had to do every single month of every single, year of my business. Absolutely not. But there are seasons where you have to be willing to go out and plant a lot more seeds. And I haven't had seasons of planting seeds like that in a long time. And so it's just time again to go out and really plant a lot of seeds, because the principle is, if you plant the seeds, you will reap a harvest, right? But we can't reap a harvest when we're not willing to plant the seeds. And I know that I want a big, abundant, growing harvest in, I can't decide always what that timeline is going to be, but I know that I have full control of planting the seeds. You do too. You don't necessarily have full control of what the harvest is going to look like or when it's going to happen, but you do have full control of planting those seeds. And so there are people that are absolutely looking for this opportunity. There are people that are watching your social media stories. There are people who are curious about what you're doing. And many times they are not, most of the time I would say, they are not going to ask you, hey, can I take a look at the business? Hey, I'm curious about what you're doing. Hey, I'd love to learn a little bit more. They're just not, right? That's just not, one, the nature of people. And two, a lot of people don't even know that they could be doing this. They are like happy for us, right? They're like cheering us on, but they don't really realize that this is actually an opportunity for them. And so I guess I want to kind of just challenge some of your thinking, is that there are a lot of people right now. I know today there's things all over the, on social media about how the stock market crashed today. There are a lot of people panicking. There are a lot of people who are unsure about the financial situation that they might find themselves in the next 1 to 2 years. We are not people who are going to lead with fear. We are people who are going to lead with hope. Okay. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So my kind of pushback to people sometimes, or my challenge is, this doesn't have to replace what you're doing. This doesn't have to become your priority. This doesn't have to become the number one thing that you're most passionate about, but it just makes sense to have another stream of income, right? Have multiple streams of income. And what I find as I start to visit with people and start to have conversation, there's pieces of them and their thoughts that start to open up to, yeah, I'm open to hearing a little bit more. I just don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I have the mental capacity. I don't know if I have the time to, oh gosh, wow, this really sounds great. Wow, I would love to be able to do something like this. Okay, I'm super nervous, but yeah, let's do it. Teach me how, right? It's a progression for almost everybody, but we don't get to help people with that. Okay, I'm scared, hold my hand, let's just do this, let's go, baby steps in. We don't get that part of the process if we don't start with the, hey, would you be willing to hear a little bit more? And we've got to be intentional and direct about the, would you be willing to hear a little bit more? Okay, so that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Second thing is that there are really 2 great events that are coming up for us as consultants to participate in. One of them is, excuse me, I'm going to share my screen here, is coming up in September. It's at Sybil Montero's farm here in Louisville, Kentucky, and it is September 14th. Excuse me. September 14th, it's called the On Fire Team Retreat and Training. So there's going to be training. She's renting one of those big tents. There's a team of VPs of us that are partnering with her to provide this experience, and she's getting just a bunch of different trainers. They don't have the trainers lined up yet, but it's going to be from 9 to 4, just outside Lexington. And then we'll break for individual team dinners, and then we'll go back for an evening of just fun and celebration from 7 o'clock on. And so the cost for each consultant is just $35. And so my encouragement in just saying, hey, put this on your calendar, plan to be at this, is that, like it says at the bottom of the flyer, hot, cold, stay hot together. And there is always just energy, excitement, belief, skills, vision that is casted, grown, cultivated, sparked anew when we are together in person for events like this. So this is open to everybody. So if you need a place to stay, I'm going to open up my home that you can come and crash here. We will find a spot for you amongst all the little people. But you can, it's just going to be a great time if you're needing to travel in for it. But if you are local, this is absolutely a training that I would love for you, an event I would love for you to put on your calendar and plan to be at. And then the other event is the Bash and Nash. That is in November. It's the weekend of the, I think, 11th and 12th. It's the Veterans Day weekend. It's again going to be a Friday, Saturday. Michelle Lopes from Home Office is going to be coming in for that to be one of the speakers, which is really exciting. And then Lisa always lines up lots of amazing speakers. And again, it's just a time of being together. It's a time of reminding yourself that you're not a lone soldier doing this business. What I love about Arbonne is that we are in business, for ourselves, but we're never by ourselves. And so this is that opportunity to just be in that larger community, see all the different kinds of people that find success in Arbonne, and then really, just use that to catapult those last couple months of the year. So that'll be the beginning of November. So that was the second thing I wanted to chat on. The third thing I wanted to train on tonight, I'm going to hopefully do this in the next just 10 minutes kind of quickly, is one of the, I would say, things I'm realizing is that oftentimes consultants express to me, I would do the work if I knew what to do or if I knew when to do it. And so what I want to talk about tonight is, what does the work look like and when do we do the work? Like if I'm saying you want to have a full calendar in Arbonne, what does that look like? And so one way to kind of break this down is to really do something. This was something that was taught to me years ago, but it's just a tool called blocking out your calendar, so that you can really start to identify what are the pockets of time that I actually do have to invest in my business, to really put forth this time, effort, and energy. Okay. And so I printed off just a paper calendar. I am a paper calendar fan, whether you print these off, whether you have a binder. If you want to just do this, on a piece of paper, if you're like, I don't have the ability to print off calendar, you can do that as well. But you could literally go to Walmart and just buy a calendar for like $5 to have some paper calendars. Why I think that this is important is because there is value in being able to visually see when you have the time. And even people that are like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. This has been such a hectic month, hectic summer, right? Because here's the thing, you guys, you can live that way. And yes, there are going to be seasons that are fuller, that are busier, that do require, you just to give your time and attention to other things, maybe more fully than you do at other times. But I can tell you that if you live in this cycle of, oh, next month I'm going to have more time, next month I'm going to have more time, you're going to find yourself next monthing your entire business and life 12 months from now. And 12 months from now, you're going to be like, well, I thought I was going to have more time. Shoot, darn it, I didn't. And so I'm going to help you kind of work through that. So what I want you to do is, if you have a calendar, and this is why I wanted this training recorded, because I think this is a very important skill to learn what to do in your business. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go through this and you're going to X out, put like a black box around all of the time that is not negotiable for you. Like if you work a full-time Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 job, 8 to 5, you cannot be working your business, right? Or if, like for me, I'm a homeschooling mom. So really most of those days until noon or 1 o'clock, those are just times that they're just pretty non-negotiable for me, right? Now, I do have the flexibility because of the ages of my kids and because of how long I've been doing this business. I can kind of fudge things here and there if I need to, but for the most part, those are just not available hours for me to work my business. I know other people have businesses where they see clients, and so you know that you've got these times that are non-negotiable. Another non-negotiable time for me is church. I don't book Arbonne events before noon on a Sunday, because that is a commitment that my family and I have, is to attend church, and I'm not going to move that in order to do an Arbonne event. That's not the same for everybody, right? So you have these things that you would consider your non-negotiables, okay? You also have a lot of things in your life that I'm going to say are the maybes. The maybes are, I get invited to participate, maybe it's a girls' night out, or maybe it's a book club meeting, or maybe it's going and watching my kids' volleyball games or practice, or there's different things that can fill up. If I wanted to, same with you, if you wanted to, you could fill up your time doing all kinds of things, right? But just because you can do those things, or you're invited to do those things, they may or may not be the right things for you to be doing if this is a season where you're wanting to grow your business. So those are considered maybes, right? So those are like, hey, I do have this thing, but if an Arbonne event came up, I would take the Arbonne event over doing this thing, because my Arbonne business is more important, or more of a priority, I guess I would say. Maybe not more important, but it is more of a priority to me than this particular thing. Maybe it's like a workout class. Maybe it's, there's lots of different things. So those are the maybes on your calendar. And then what you're left with is all the time you do have to work your business. And every single time I've had a consultant do this, whether they are brand new, whether they're relaunching their business, whether they just are in a season where they're wanting to really grow their business, it is quite revealing to them all the time they actually do have to build their business. Okay. Because we will make time for what we feel is important. We will make time for what we believe matters to us. And, as an example, I had set a goal this morning. I'm in an accountability group with a couple other gals, and I had said I was going to send out 15 new business asks before 9 o'clock tonight because of the team call. And I really knew that I didn't want to do them after that. Well, today was just a day that from like the moment we woke up till dinner time was just one of those days where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. Like we were literally going from one doctor's appointment to another doctor's appointment with other kids. In between, I'm getting a call for a third kid to reschedule a doctor's appointment. We had to go to the grocery store. We had to return books at the library, just normal life stuff. But there wasn't like, I was gone during the entire nap time. The morning, it was like, make the beds, clean the kitchen, make the lunch because I'm going to be gone for these appointments, right? So there was literally no time until dinner time. And then we had dinner. And then after dinner, as I'm getting, the girls and I are getting the kitchen cleaned up, and it's 6 o'clock and Sunny's gone for the evening. And I'm like, okay, when am I going to, I have to do this because I have learned that I have got to keep my word to myself more than I keep it to anybody else. And if I say I'm going to do something, successful people figure it out. Successful people find a way. Successful people do what they say they're going to do. So I was like, okay, a bear is very rambunctious, very busy. It's best to get him outside. And so I put him in the wagon and I was like, we'll walk around the block. And as we walked around the block, I thought, this is the time for me to send messages. It's 80 degrees. It's so humid. And he fusses through half of the wagon ride. And I'm like, I got to be sending out these messages. And because that was the time. And is it ideal? Was it optimal? No, nothing about it felt good, right? Nothing about it was like, oh yeah, this is totally the time that I want to work my business, right? We get home, we get some water. He hops back out. I'm trying to do some more messages while we're just walking, playing around in the driveway. Then he's like fussing. I'm like, let's get in the stroller. So we get in the stroller, right? We switch devices. And I think we walked around the block 1 or 2 times and I got out 16 messages. It took probably 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Sweat is dripping down my back. I'm not saying any of this so I get like a prize. I'm just giving you guys perspective of sometimes what does it look like to build this business? What does it look like to do the activity? Success is inconvenient. If I want to work my business in a way that feels comfortable, that is like, okay, I'm prepared, my office is clean, I've got all my ducks in a row, that's fine. I can make that choice, but I can tell you that more times than not, your business isn't going to go anywhere. Your business will go somewhere when you decide, no matter what, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. And right now, what I'm doing in my business is I'm asking and inviting new people to take a look at this business. I'm inviting them into this team, into this community that we have. And so I knew that I needed to get that done. And that was the window of time that I had to do it. Okay. Sometimes that looks like me telling my kids, turn on a show while I stand in the kitchen and send out messages while my kids are watching 1 or 2 TV shows, right? Because each TV show, if you are a mom, nowadays it's 22 minutes. You got 22 minutes. And then they're like, can I have an episode? Right? And so that's how this works, right? Sometimes it's going to be you in between driving from the grocery store to getting home or going somewhere else and just sitting in your car and saying, I'm not getting in the house until I send out 3 messages because my business is important. Okay. Because what you focus on will grow. What you focus on and prioritize in your business is what will start to expand, and your business will grow and expand, and it will pay you when you prioritize it. When we don't prioritize our business, it's really not a business, it's a hobby, and it costs us. And this is why so many people can get frustrated with network marketing because they're like, it just cost me money. I just spent, spending all this money and it's not really paying me. Well, that's because they're not actually working it. They're more committed to a TV show and a series on TV than they are their business. They're more committed to a workout class that won't, yes, we want to be working out and being healthy, but sometimes it's like we can be way more committed to things than our business, and those things don't pay us. They actually cost us, right? So you have to decide, if you want to grow your business, that you have to figure out how to make it a priority and make it a top priority, right? So that it can start to pay you, so that you can start to see that growth. And oftentimes what will help you prioritize it is visually seeing, I've got time. Or maybe it being reflected back to you as a challenge of like, time can't be an excuse because I actually have time. I'm just avoiding the time because it's uncomfortable, or because it's not in the desired way that I want to be. Or, when I'm setting these goals of like 150 business asks a month, I can tell you right now, when I set a goal this morning, or I actually am using the language of a commitment, not a goal. Like it's not a goal to do 15 reach outs. It's a commitment to do 15 reach outs. I could tell you this morning, I could think of two people, and I was like, I don't know where those other 13 are going to come from, but I'm just gonna put one foot in front of the other. Okay. And so then what happens is, when you have this time, this is what's called your open time or your maybe time. This is the time where you do things like asks, you do events, you do in-person events, you do virtual events, you do things like follow-ups, drop off samples to people to try. You can do coffee appointments with people. This is similar to the brand calls. The brand calls are really great and they're being super effective. They're 15-minute-ish calls where we tell people the story of Arbonne, right? So there's lots of different things you can be doing in this open time that you have for your business. But again, you have to decide what you're going to commit to for the month. The baseline for consultants who want to grow their business forward is sharing Arbonne, the story and the products, with 40 people a month. So you don't have to make that your goal. Some people will double that as their goal, but I would not be a good leader. I would not be a good coach if I was telling you, oh yeah, you can do a lot less. And you can just talk to 5 people this month and you'll promote, or you'll see a good paycheck. That's not the truth of the matter. That'd be like a trainer who comes, you pay to go to the gym and they're like, well, you just only have to show up once a week and you don't really have to get your heart rate up. You don't really have to sweat. Like, just put your shoes on and the clothes and like tell people you have a membership and you'll get healthy. That's a lie, right? You can't just like wear athletic wear and have a gym membership. That doesn't equate being healthy. You can't like just use Arbonne's products and have an account and equate that as I have an Arbonne business. You actually have to put the work in, you have to do the activity. And many times one of the obstacles to doing the activity is finding the time in your day in order to do the activity. So this is a very helpful activity to do, to find that time, blocking out all the time that's your non-negotiable time, then going through and like, okay, what are the things we have this month that are like the maybe, like if I can, I'll be there, but if I want to prioritize my business, I'm willing to skip it for my business. And then seeing all the time that you do have to work your business and using that with one of those and putting forth effort in that way. So that was the training I wanted to bring to you guys tonight. It is 9:29 and we are going to wrap this thing up. I told my kids I'd be done by 9:30. And so anyways, I hope that's helpful. Use that. We've got a full month ahead of us. It's only the first Monday of August, you guys. We've got a lot of time. You have 4 full weeks ahead of you. Don't let the deception of like, oh, I don't have time, be the reason that you don't move your business in the direction that you want, that you don't go get 5, 10 new signups. There are people out there, you guys, every day spending money at places every single day. Have them spend their money with you, have them sign up with you, have them partner with you, bring them into this community. I've never met one person who was like, yeah, my life is worse because of Arbonne. Not one in 20 years, right? Whether they decide to do the business, stay with the business, stay with the products, their life is enhanced and better in some way because someone took courage to ask them to take a look. So that's what I want to share with you guys tonight. I love you so much. I hope this was helpful. I'll post this as a recording because I think it's just a tool everybody can use and be refreshed on. And so anyways, I hope you guys have a great night. Let's make it, we're going to make it a great month. I'm pumped about it. So, all right. Love you guys.